There was a time when direction felt external, when movement depended on feedback, when confidence waited on response, when progress needed confirmation before it felt real. That phase ends quietly, because direction doesn't arrive from agreement. It arrives from alignment. At a certain point, you stop looking outward for signs that you're doing the right thing. Not because you've figured everything out, but because you've stayed long enough to know what doesn't move you anymore. Direction becomes internal when you've tested yourself without witnesses. When you've shown up on days that offered nothing back. No praise. No reassurance. Just repetition. That's where direction hardens. Not into arrogance, but into certainty. You stop adjusting your pace based on noise. You stop explaining decisions to people who aren't carrying the weight. You stop checking the room before you move. Because the room was never responsible for your direction in the first place. Most people confuse clarity with confidence. They think clarity means having all the answers. It doesn't. Clarity means knowing which questions no longer matter. It means understanding what doesn't deserve your energy. It means recognizing when distraction is disguised as opportunity. When direction is internal, you don't rush. Not because you're hesitant, but because you're deliberate. Speed becomes optional. Reaction becomes unnecessary. You move when it's time. You wait when it's not. And neither feels like resistance. This is where discipline matures. Early discipline needs structure imposed from the outside. Rules, deadlines, accountability. Later, discipline becomes self-governing. You don't need pressure to act. You don't need urgency to focus. You already know what you're building. And more importantly, what you're refusing to build. That refusal is part of the direction. When direction is internal, you don't chase alignment. You protect it. You say no faster. You disappear without explanation. You reduce exposure instead of increasing output. because movement without alignment is just motion. And motion without direction leads nowhere. Fast. This phase doesn't look impressive from the outside. There's less talking, less proving, less visible urgency. But internally, everything is settled. You're not asking, is this working? You're asking, is this still true? And if it is, you continue. No adjustment, no announcement, no detour. That's the difference. External direction reacts. Internal direction commits. External direction seeks validation. Internal direction sustains itself. External direction needs momentum to survive. Internal direction creates it. This is why progress becomes quiet here. Because you're no longer building for attention. You're building for durability. For pressure. For time. For the long stretch where motivation fades and only structure remains. Direction set internally doesn't need to be defended. It holds. This is Ritual POV. Direction set internally. And once it's set, everything else becomes secondary.